Hey, morning, everyone. Gets me every time. Morning, everyone. Glad you're here. Intro. Is that okay? Hey, morning. I'm glad you're here. There's a number of people here for different reasons, different places too. Here's a couple of things. Let me just make this comment because I think this is hilarious. Number one, one of the pillars of this community that seems to one of the traditions is morning. You have to say morning. Mentioned this before, which I really like because it's like I don't typically do that. You know, when you're walking by someone on the street and you're like, you don't even make eye contact. You just kind of keep cruising. That's how I generally do it, except after COVID, and then it's like you want to talk to everyone, so it's different that way. But I love our the fact that we say morning to each other. Here's another one though: the intro. Everybody's got a fanboy over the intro because it's awesome, and it was from Fiverr. So yeah, that's thanks Fiverr. It is our sacred greeting. This is a good space, guys. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad it's Friday. I don't know why I'm glad it's Friday, but I'm glad it's Friday because I'm just glad to be here. How's that sound? I'm glad that some of you aren't out of bed yet. I'm glad that happy for a lot of things. You know what it is though? It's I get to see some of you throughout the day, and I get to hear from you almost every day, which is so brilliant. And I so appreciate this. And then we get comments from new people. It's Friday in the live. If you're watching the recorded, it's a totally different experience, but I will make mention of everything that happens in the live chat because the live is hilarious and makes me, it's it's someone who's your favorite celebrity? Me, the intro. Absolutely. Oh, the intro. It's good. How's everyone doing? We got a few people on today, which is kind of cool because usually what I'm noticing is Monday, there's not too many people on Monday because people forget or they're still in weekend mode, and then Tuesday it starts to pick up again, and by Thursday it starts to subside, and then Friday we kind of get a bit of a bump. That's been the typical. But how's everyone doing? Said some things. I actually asked this before in the live as we get started. It's usually, I think the live is available as soon as I post the episode, which would be like a day before. Don't start cheating though, because some of you are like, I'm in here first, which I think is awesome. I asked that at 8 minutes ago how everyone was doing, and there was a lot of goods, and then anxious, tired, and then one of you showed up and was like, morning. It's so good. You guys are hilarious. You're still on the intro. Who do I want Jim to be when I grow up? The intro. Just a big pile of waves and words in the middle of it. Sorry, I don't mean to speak ill of the intro. The intro is key. Do you guys know how long it took to find that intro? It took me 3 or 4 days of searching through and just being so frustrated by everything. And then finally one came up and like, yes, that's it. That's the one. That's awesome. Did a lot of drawing. Very awake and happy this morning. Yeah, man. The here's crazy thing. So in our land, I think most of our crew this morning is from around here, which means it was rainy all day yesterday, which means it was either a really introspective day for you, or you felt like you were locked in a prison and it was wet outside and you were like, that's it. Which means today is another one of those days, although it's even colder, but that's okay because it's only one day. And you may have either a day of introspection, or you may be like me and going for a walk, probably at some point today through I'm not sure what that stuff is that's falling, but it's lighter rain. So lighter and whiter rain. So again, unconfirmed reports, but that's what I'm seeing outside right now too. So it's, yeah, sort of fun. Josh just throws down in the live chat a word. No, it's not that. It's lighter rain. Everyone knows that. There's certain rain, and guys, not to be a all-weather man right now, but there's certain, rain comes down and it drops and it's super awesome. And then there's lighter rain, and that's like the rain that didn't really try. And so it comes out of the sky and it's like, kind of feel like gravity, but not really. It's called light or rain. It's a phenomenon, because obviously it's not what Josh put, which I won't mention that word in our beautiful channel here, because that's just not appropriate. Oh, so good. Art Day. I'm here on Art Day. Hey, we're gonna keep it fairly light, as light as I know how, because it's so funny. Yesterday's episode was deep, man. Somebody made the comment. It's like, why is this have to be so deep? Like it's a bad thing, but we go so deep. Yeah, and I'm hoping, guys, this is the space to be able to do this. Hoping also this, if you have somebody who's just in need of some truth and some space to breathe, could you refer them to one of the episodes? Here's the one I keep hearing about. I heard about it 3 times yesterday. Constant, the episode Constant, has really rocked some people. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that. And again, that's not a please like and subscribe moment. That's just a convinced of this, and watching the news very, very rarely these days. There's a lot of people in need of connection. So if you wouldn't mind, I mean, it's still up there because we haven't violated that many copyrights. Deep. Hey, I want to share something with you guys. But again, I have to ask for permission. So, knowing some of your stories, and again, there's more people. You guys are killing me in the live this morning. Johnny Depp. What's the arrow? Johnny Deeper. Yeah, one of the dudes we should block from the channel right now, because he's saying, again, for those of you who are watching the recorded, you'll be like, what is that guy saying in the channel? What do we have to censor? Well, he's saying, I don't know if I can say it. There's a word that some people use to describe cold things falling from the sky. Okay, enough on that. Yeah, bad word. Thanks, Izzy. I appreciate that. That's just wrong. Yeah, it's a bad word. We're not going to ever say that word here, even though we just did repeatedly. Guys, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're finding some space today to get perspective, because perspective is key. Still wanting to reach out to a few of you and talk about perspective on this, in this space. But perspective is key. So here we are 24 hours later after talking about perspective, and let me give you a sort of a sit rep on where my perspective was. Yesterday was kind of a bit of a draining day for me, not particularly compelling or inspiring or anything like that. So where do we go when our day kind of narrows our perspective again? Where do you go when your perspective shifts again? I keep coming back to here, I'll be honest. I think for all of us, because we're human, I don't think we need to feel bad for our perspective shifting and then being like, I need more of God. And then your perspective shifting and you just say, I need more of God. Because remember too, the Israelites, when they were in the desert, God didn't provide them with stuff or with manna every 18 days or every month or every year. And he was like, now go and get them. It was every day, like every morning. I should almost change this episode to manna, but that's too religious. God providing what we have every single day. So if that's the space that you need, especially over the weekend, go back to some old Breathe episodes, check them out, show them with a friend, show them with a family, sit down in front of them. There's kind of everything in there. If you want to see a new segment on Breathe 2, a new space, like there's a few things. That the music is definitely there, and this is for you guys. Volcanic ash, thank you. Timeout corner. I love it. If you guys want to see something new, it might be art, it might be, or even do this. Here's a beautiful thing. Some of you are really, really creative, artistic. Time lapse your stuff. Put the camera on it. Let's see it. Let's throw it on here, and then send me it, so we can actually put it up there. We'll We'll maybe even go away from the island on some days. Oh, that'd be actually really fun. Creative days. I think it'd be awesome. Can I give you guys something? This is you guys put up with me. Thank you. Oh man. Love you guys. I love you guys. Let me say that over and over again. I don't mean that like meaningless. I love you guys. This is a good part to the day. I don't care if there's 14,000 people watching or 10 or whatever. This is a good space. Guys, actually, I'm very serious on that. I'd like to meet with a few of you too. If we can actually meet today at some point, if I know you first of all, and I think I know everyone on the chat right now. But if you're watching, you're like, "What, the Jimmy? How do I get a hold of this guy?" That's a great question. Okay, you can find me on Insta. Sean Smith spelled weird, very unoriginal name. Thanks, mom and dad. But the Sean Smith, ShaunSmith. Throw it out on there. And then like and subscribe. I'm sorry. Here's what we got. No, throw me through Insta. We'll kind of get a conversation that way. The email I do check, but it's easier for me to check Insta. Here's what we got. This is something that's been sticking to my brain. This is something that I always go back to for perspective too. This space, and I just hope this speaks over you, especially as we go. So you can find this. I'm not going to tell you the time period, but I'm going to tell you what it says. I printed it. Remember that thing called a printer? Where it's... Anyways. What if you don't have Insta? Is that a thing? It's a great question. I think even less people have Twitter. You know what? I'll throw that in the I'll throw it in the comments below this YouTube video. And then we can kind of go from there. Because that's a great question. What if you don't have Insta? How are you living? Just kidding. What if you don't have the internet? Well, you're probably not on here. Anyways. Guys, here's why I share this with you. It's always important that I share why I share this. Just hearing some of your stories and knowing some of your stories and kind of walking this through with you because I'm part of this community too. And really feeling like our schedules, particularly around COVID, have shifted so greatly and they've become almost a mundane thing where it's like some of you are still in bed and you know what I mean? Like there's a certain unchallenge and yet it is very challenging. For most of you, I'm willing to bet that the schedules that we currently have leave you pretty exhausted. Lots of screen by nature, lots of sitting and lots of still a schedule, but it just happens to be in your house or on your phone or stuff like that. And so I'm wondering if we need to hear more of this in our lives. And this is where God has started to stir the pot for me a little bit into what might be. So here it is. Would you treat this as a prayer? So I'm going to pray this. I'm actually going to pray and think about you guys as I'm reading this. Now, if you find yourself agreeing with this, careful, because it's dangerous. And I think I mean danger in a good way, but also in an uncomfortable way. Yeah. No motivation, no motivation, no motivation. So what is God calling you to these days? To exist until the end? Okay, I'm going to stop talking because I want to share this with you. This is one of my favorite prayers. Disturb us, Lord, when we are too pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true because we have dreamed too little, when we arrived safely because we sailed too close to the shore. Disturb us, Lord, when with the abundance of things we possess, we have lost our thirst for the waters of life. Having fallen in love with life, we have ceased to dream of eternity. And in our efforts to build a new earth, we have allowed our vision of the new heaven to dim. Disturb us, Lord, to dare more boldly, to venture on wider seas, where storms will show your mastery, where losing sight of land, we shall find the stars. We ask you to push back the horizons of our hopes and to push into the future in strength, courage, hope, and love. Do you guys mind if I pray for you? God, would this be our prayer? As we look at our spirit, as we look inside, as we see our humanity, God, would you help us to see the stars? God, beyond all schedules, beyond all of our expectations of today, beyond all of even our hopes and our dreams, our wildest dreams, God, would you begin to disturb us, to stir in us a movement that could only be called you. And so as we're getting out of bed or staying in bed, wherever we are, no matter our motivation, God, would you even be the spark that's within us that starts to create a fire and starts to move us beyond our comfort, beyond our sort of apathy, or beyond even our just exhaustion of the daily grind? Would you help us to look above the daily grind and to see into the hills and then even beyond to the stars, where you are also there, but you're also here. So God, that is our hope. Would you speak peace to us today? Would you speak life? Would you speak hope? Would you speak healing? And God, would you start to speak future as well? And we thank you. We thank you for your goodness to us. We thank you that you always speak to us. Would you give us the ears to hear and the eyes to see you at work in our lives? We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, cool live chat right now. Can you send that to me? Yes, but I'm not going to send you the printout, so don't look it up online, because by the way, that prayer is from a guy named Sir Francis Drake. Human, made some key mistakes from 1540 to 1596. We got a debate on right now. Stop asking whether I can pray. I will always ask you if I can pray, because I don't. Just a couple of struggles I have with that, but yeah, I'll always ask you to pray. I love this comment. What is this? How is the entire fabric of the world spoken into being? Yeah. If the next person that tells you there's no power in word, be like, oh, well, actually, yeah. Hey guys, thanks for today. I'm going to jump off. Got some ideas burning. Got some thoughts. I'd love to, if you want to reach out to me. Okay, if you don't have Insta, I think most of you who are on today know some of the ways to reach me. If you are watching, because a lot of people watch later in the day, again, we'll maybe put something in the comments below where you can just click on that. I'm kind of nervous about that too, so we'll maybe even address that next week and see how a better way to get a hold of me, because that'd be awesome too. Love to see some creativity too, and kind of walk through that. Time lapse is super easy. It's on your iPhone. Check that out too. And not a sponsor, although it should be. Just kidding. Love you guys. We'll catch you soon, probably today. If not, we'll see you on Monday for something that has been cooking in my brain for a while. We'll catch you soon. See ya.